Hey Superior Shave fans and other humans, how you doing today? A customer just bought the very last one of this beautiful razor. I think this is the coolest scales that we sell. This is the Thiers-Issard that says Compostel, the world traveler theme. And what I want to do is, the customer asked for it to be further honed, so I would like to show you using my same little varnished wood block from the very nice customer in the Northeast United States. Thank you for making this for me. I'm going to put that behind here and strop on the factory edge, and then I'm going to go make the bevel thinner, starting with this one with its big curve, and stay on that for a while until new scratches start to the rear of the bevel. And then I will switch to this cylinder. This is about a 21-foot cylinder this way on a cuticule, and if you've done good work on the bevel thinner before, when you go to the cuticule, it just takes a second to wipe off that remaining little bit of the bevel. And then I'm going to top it off with this new hone that I am terribly impressed with, the Norton Ascent. They are amazing. You got to get them nice and flat. But if you just have something that's really, really thin to begin with, and then you flatten it with this, okay, Superior Shave fans and other humans, that is a sufficiently additionally thinned razor, I suspect. This is kind of a test pilot way of honing. I don't really know when you should stop in terms of the first step of thinning the bevel to get the most benefit while not conceding too much durability of the razor. But what you will find is at the beginning your scratches are only at the rear of the bevel form, and there are no scratches overcoming the cutting edge. And then as you start to work, the scratches start to creep toward the front, and at some point, long before your scratch pattern has wholly overtaken the incumbent form, you will start to see the cutting edge, the apex that is, start to get degraded from the abrasiveness of the stone that you just saw me use, which is 1,000 grit supposedly, but it's just a mixture of alum oxide and novaculite. Probably when they're producing the Arkansas stones, they gather the dust and they bind that with aluminum oxide to make a water stone. Anyway, that will start to make a rougher looking tip to the razor than what the factory Thiers-Issard diamond paste is looking like. And when I see that, to me, I think that's the time to switch to this one. Now, this is a cuticule. I'm using it just with plain water, and it has a diameter that's about 3 times longer than the one you just saw me use. So it will very quickly start to take its marks toward the front of the razor, and after just a couple of dozen strokes, I can stop and wipe off and go look in my binocular microscope and see that the rough looking apex that I just described has been overtaken and it's nice and smooth. I've just decided for now to experiment with finishing with a flat thing like it says in the old German book, because I'm so impressed with the Norton Ascent. I would love it if Norton would produce an Ascent with a very mild, large diameter ellipse. That would be completely amazing. But it is an extremely hard hone, and it took a lot of work to get it just a tiny bit flatter using a second copy of it and rubbing grit on the two of them. I did it for hours and hours. So I'm not about to try to reshape a Norton Ascent to become my perfect finisher. But if they made one for me that was in the ultra fine grit and was an ellipse of 25 foot down the long axis and 6.5 foot the other way, I can imagine I would choose to use that. And I would absolutely adore it if they made one that was a cylinder of about 5.5 foot diameter and like 2 by 8 inches, let's say. That would be simply amazing. And the fine grit, that Norton Ascent is really fast. It does load up with swarf quickly, and it requires a lot of cleaning, but I've found if you use it with a liberal amount of mineral oil or honing oil, the metal floats off before it can get into the stone, and then you can just polish the stone with some warm water and soap. This is my little 6x2 by 1/2 Ascent. I'm going to use it with some Smith's honing oil. It works real fast. I would say not more than a dozen full laps on here, and you certainly have a guarantee of a crisp termination at the tip of that razor. To be honest, it would be better if it probably worked a little bit slower. And I really would like a thicker stone, but well, you can always find something to complain about, you know. That is more than enough. Now let's go strop it and see what it sounds like.